I'm going to reunite MSN in Football Manager. So I've made myself manager of PSG. And of course, we already have Messi, and we already have Neymar. So I've put an unrejectable offer in for Luis Suarez. And if he signs, you have to subscribe.
How dare you?
And good news for my sub count, he does. So now that we all have 3 pieces of the MSN puzzle, I guess Kylian Mbappe is pretty disposable and can rot on the bench. I don't really rate him anyway.
He is atrocious, isn't he?
I guess he can be a substitute for Suarez when he's tired. He is 35 after all. And of course, our aim is to be winning that Champions League. Our first competitive match though is Lille in the Trophy de Champion. Lille gave us a scare in the first half when they broke through and scored, but it was chalked off as offside. It was on the hour mark when the deadlock was broken, when breaking down the right hand side, Hakimi pulled it back and Fabian smashed it into the net. And 5 minutes later, same scenario as Hakimi picks up the ball deeper down the right and this time plays an inch perfect pass for Luis Suarez to volley home the second goal. Lille did come back late in the game to pick up a consolation goal, but it was a job well done for MSN. In the first match of the league campaign, Lionel Messi was very much the architect of the match, having assisted the first 3 goals in a 4-0 win, with the third being scored by his mate Luis Suarez. Montpellier match, and this time it was Neymar who stole the show, but with a hat-trick of goals. A cracking free kick to start, a penalty next, and then Luis Suarez goal in the 13th minute. But the best goal of the game was Neymar's third, when he showed fantastic skill, cutting inside and purling one into the top corner. And then we followed that with a 0-0 against Lille. Against arguably our biggest threat in the league, Suarez hounded down the Monaco defense, and it led to Messi winning the ball and scoring the only goal of the game. The last game of August was against Toulouse and was an away game, hammering 5-0 with 2 excellent goals from Luis Suarez, who, considering his physicals aren't what they used to be, that was 2 very impressive goals. That puts us top of the league by a point, and we've been given our Champions League group. It's really easy. 2 set pieces from Nantes is then really what put us in trouble. Corner goal to begin with, and a deflected free kick which somehow Donnarumma has dropped, and we find ourselves 2-0 down. Neymar scored a penalty, but we take our first loss of the season. Thankfully though, we bounced back with pure determination from Suarez, who scored the opener in the win against Sevilla in the Champions League. And we dominated Brest next.
Say what?
A 5-0 victory where Suarez bagged 2 goals and both Messi and Neymar got 1. MSN is on fire right now, but the following 3 games and only 1 goal from the 3 from them, with Messi bagging in the PSV game and yet another loss in the league to Lyon, which actually puts us in 2nd place behind Marseille. But after a 0-0 draw in the Champions League against 10-men Shakhtar, we finally got our mojo back and became deadly again at the hands of Stade Reims. We absolutely walloped them 6-0. 2 assists from Neymar and 2 goals from Luis Suarez. Messi started and played, but only got a 6.5 rating. And from 0 goals against 10 men to Shakhtar, a 5-0 win. Top of the table clash as we face Marseille at home, and Hakimi sets up Verratti for the first. And in the 2-0 win, it was capped off by Luis Suarez header from a Messi corner. The rest of the month went well in the league, and another draw in the Champions League, and things are a lot more positive. Back to the top of the league though, and qualified in the Champions League with Sevilla to play in our final game. 2 more goals from Suarez in the final 3 games before the World Cup, 3 more wins too, leaving us in a great place and top of the league and top in the Champions League group. The World Cup was won by the Dutch against Mexico in the final, and Uruguay lost the 3rd place playoff to Switzerland of all teams, but Suarez only started 2 games and sat on the bench for Nunez. Back from Qatar, and we step back into wins with 5-0 and 4-1 on New Year's Eve. However, it's just 1 goal from the veteran Uruguayan during January. Are we finally seeing the decline of the man who likes to bite people? Other than his physicals, his attributes are absolutely outrageous. But again, it's 100% wins in January, and we even played a semi-professional team from Paris in the Cup, and we beat them 6-1 whilst playing our strongest team. And just like that, we've created a 9-point gap between us at the top and Montpellier in 2nd, and Neymar is joint top scorer on 19 goals in just 20 appearances, which is actually incredible. With the league safe for the minute, let's focus on the Champions League first leg as Giroud scores the only goal of the game in the round of 16. We did, however, lose to our rivals Monaco 1-0, and look at the player ratings. Messi on a 6.2, Suarez on a 6.1. It's a very rare occasion when you'll see both of these players have a bad game. We also had to rely on penalties in the French Cup as we suffered a hard draw against Lyon, but our defence, they were incredible, and goalkeeper Donnarumma picked up man of the match. Still comfortably 10 points clear in the league, and I really don't think we need to look much more into it, unless MSN do something special. But we are in trouble in the Champions League, being 1-0 down to Milan, and we should really win that French Cup given that we eliminated the hardest competitors. Neymar is no surprise the top scorer for us, and Luis Suarez is 9 behind him, but doing very well. Mbappe somehow has the same goals as Messi, despite only starting 31 games less than him. Is Messi now our weak link in this team?
I'm stunned.
Second leg against Milan, and we started incredibly well when Suarez opened the scoring. Lionel Messi turned up today and got the second one, and we really put AC Milan to the sword and did not rest on our 2-1 advantage when Carlos Soler scored a beauty to make it 3. And finally, Mbappe comes on and sets up Suarez for a wonderful performance. We then faced Lyon in the league and comfortably got another 3 points without leaving second gear. Neymar with the penalty, and all 3 members of MSN carved the Lyon defence open for Lionel Messi to get the second. With the league all but won, we have a tricky test in the Champions League, with Bayern Munich being the obstacle in the way of a Champions League semi-final. Before that, there were French Cup semi-final and a 3-0 win, with all 3 goals being assisted by the magician that is Lionel Messi, including the third scored by Suarez emphatically. Upon first glance, it really does look like Gnabry is miles offside in the opening goal of the Champions League quarterfinal, but upon looking at the replay, you can see he has timed this run almost to perfection to be inside his own half. It wasn't long before we were 2-0 down at home as well, when Mane scored for Bayern, but substitute Mbappe pulled one back for us, which could be crucial for that second leg. Over to one of the most beautiful football stadiums in the world then. And how could we ever doubt Lionel Messi? What a pass for that first goal for Neymar. It's now 1-1, incredible, and he's at it again in the second half as he sets up Mbappe, who came on for Suarez, and just like that, puts PSG into the semi-final of the Champions League. Over to the French Cup final, with all 3 of MSN starting fit, opponents Lyon knew they were in for a game, and Suarez sets up Messi, who scores in the 35th minute. The second goal as well came from Suarez being an absolute dog and winning the ball high at the pitch for Verratti to fire home. However, Lille came back fighting and scored from a corner set piece to make it very interesting. Messi gave us our 2-goal lead back again though from the spot, but Lille fought very hard and ended up scoring in the 91st minute, 3-2. And due to the results going our way while the cup final happened, we actually won the league as well. We are double champions. But it's RB Leipzig in the semi-final, standing our way of that Champions League final against the winner between Liverpool and Atletico Madrid, both of Suarez's old teams. The first leg of the semi-final ended with just 1 goal, scored by Leipzig.
Piss off. Everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong.
But the second leg and the perfect pass by Neymar found the perfect run by Suarez. Just like that, we're on level terms again. In the 78th minute, an unlikely hero popped up from left back when Bernat was found by Fabian's long pass to hit an absolute worldie in the near post and win the tie for PSG. And the showdown is set. PSG, led by MSN, will be facing Liverpool in the final of the Champions League. Now, Marquinhos is the only first-team player that we have missing. We still look very strong with Ramos and Kimpembe at the back, and it's business as usual in the midfield, and of course up front with Mbappe sat on the bench.
Who?
Suarez is at the forefront of all the reactions for this match. That's got to be a good sign. Liverpool look fairly strong too, with Salah and Diaz accompanying Jota up front. And of course, their old friend Luis Suarez is in the navy blue of PSG and could be very bittersweet if he notches the winner. A quiet game until a Liverpool free kick which was cleared, but the pressure was still applied and the cross was cleared only as far as Diaz. His ball to Van Dijk was returned back to him and he created a fantastic shooting opportunity but couldn't get enough curve on the ball. Corner to PSG and Luis Suarez header goes in off the post. A fantastic header, but the referee is looking like he isn't going to count it. VAR is checking and the goal is disallowed. Let's see the replay then, and that's why Sergio Ramos stood at an offside position in front of the goalkeeper. Harsh decision right before half-time. Devastating for MSN as Neymar is injured and needs to come off. Straight swap with Mbappe. Over the 70th minute mark now, and we're casually playing around in the midfield around Liverpool's half press, and it's fantastic play. And what a ball to find Mbappe, who's too quick for his defender. He cuts inside, but his shot flies over. And now Ramos is injured as well. And there are 6 minutes of added time to be played, but the time is running out. This one is going to extra time. Okay, Donnarumma plays it out wide, and PSG look to start another attack through the midfield. The ball gets played to Sanchez, who wastes the ball up to Suarez, and Liverpool begin the counter-attack, playing Mo Salah down the right-hand side. He cuts back on himself and finds the incoming Joe Gomez, and thankfully he is the right person we want to see shooting from that distance. Into the 120th minute now, and PSG are breaking, and Lionel Messi is sent through. He's had to go wide, but Lionel Messi shoots, and that is going to be the worst shot you'll ever see him make for a long time. And that is probably it, and it is. It is penalties that will decide this Champions League final. Side note, I absolutely detest penalties. I'd much rather have a better way of deciding all of these important games, maybe even like the old MLS version shootout. First to step up though is Mo Salah on this penalty. Usually he's quite good at them, but not today. What a save by Donnarumma. Mbappe for PSG scores. Fabinho needs to find the net, and he does. Lionel Messi isn't going to miss surely, and he doesn't. Young Curtis Jones. Another miss for Liverpool. And now it's Luis Suarez to make 3-1 for PSG on penalties, and Alisson cannot keep it out. Harvey Elliott needs to score for Liverpool, and he does. But if Marco Verratti scores, PSG win the Champions League, and it flies in, and our mission is complete. We reunited one of the best trios in football history, MSN on Football Manager. We won the French Cup, we won the French League, and we won the Champions League. Drop a like on the video for the return of MSN, and check out this rebuild on screen right now where I rebuild Liverpool only using a low block. I'll see you soon.